Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Patricia Shea Bell, and I am the Chief Communications Officer for Praetorian Group International, also known as PGI. And this is a part of our Leaders series, the leaders, the movers and shakers of Praetorian Group International, PGI, that are taking the world by storm and leading this company to greatness. So with that, I'm here with one of our most amazing leaders, an extraordinary gentleman, and just somebody I'm very grateful to be on his team and be with him working together in this company. And his name is Philip King, also known as King Philip. How are you, Philip?
That's right. Yes, I'm fantastic. I tell people I'm excellent, but today I think I am fantabulous. So I'm fantastic and I'm fabulous. Philip King, King Philip, all my titles.
Philip
Thank
King.
You very much.
There you go,
Patricia.
Exactly. That's awesome. And you are the president of PGI.
Master distributor.
Master distributor.
With many presidents.
With many. I don't actually know your official title, and everybody's titles keep changing every day. So I'm sorry, I should have asked you that before. What is your official title?
My official title is Philip. Now, the king was bestowed upon me by the grace, by the grace of God. Actually, I found the word king some years ago in a portion in the Bible. And I said to a few of my friends, you know what, I'm actually, I'm a king, And I didn't realize it was going to become a very serious thing. And today, I cannot even run away from the name. Like if I couldn't stop anyone, I couldn't stop people, even if I run a campaign.
That's awesome. I love it. That's fantastic. And you should not have to run away from that. I think you should be right there and own it. That should be it, which I think you do.
Absolutely.
So your official PGI title is Master Distributor?
Master Distributor, that's my official title.
Yes. All right, very good. That was the thing I wanted to make sure. So you are a Master
I was
Distributor.
even checking if there's something available called Supermaster. I thought I would call myself Supermaster,
Absolutely. I think you should just be King Master. That would be the
King Master. That's the word. That's better.
That's even better. So Philip, we want to get a chance to really know who you are, know what you're about, know your background, get a sense of, where have you come from to where you are today, and maybe some different things that, sharing what you've been through in life to, if it helps one other person to move through something they're having difficulty with, and that obviously makes a difference. But just kind of a whole overview. So starting out, where were you born? Where were you raised? Kind of take us through.
Wow, thank you for the opportunity. I've always looked out for such an opportunity, rare opportunity, whereby I get to, share my story in the hope that somebody gets to know me a little bit more, and that could make a huge difference in somebody else's life somewhere who's watching me. Whether I might influence you directly or indirectly, I would want to be responsible for impacting hundreds and thousands of lives around the world indirectly, perhaps through you watching me. So anyways, my name is Philip King. I was born in Kenya, the land of tourism, a very beautiful land, a place in Africa you do not want to miss. It's the fourth best airport in Africa, okay? I won't tell you the rest, but it's amazing. So born in...
You may be in a bit of a fight, by the way. You may be in a bit of a fight between you and Benny, Kiki, and Scott, because everybody said that. He said Uganda is the best place.
Uganda is the best.
Scott said Nigeria is the best place. I think we're going to have a fight. I just think, no, I'm just kidding. Kenya's beautiful. I definitely can't wait to go there. So go ahead. You were saying.
Yeah. No, if we go by population, then it would be Benny, because there are over 200 million people. So they have to share all the resources there. Scott in Nigeria. But if we go by currency, we may be looking more at Kenya, the strongest currency among the three, right?
Wow,
so,
really?
In that case, I guess, cheers everybody, Kenya is the best.
So,
born and raised in Kenya.
There we go.
There you go. Thanks, Patricia. I love it.
You're welcome.
So 15 years, grew up in Kenya, a young man from a very young age with big dreams, with a lot of words that I spoke about my future, that I'm going to be in this country, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be a businessman. At some point, I'll be impacting lives. But I didn't have any clue how all of that was going to happen. But I just said it anyhow. And, I was with other kids and they looked at me like a stranger, like, what does he think he is? Who does he think he is? You hear that sometimes.
You're right.
But anyways, there you go. That's grew up there around lovely family, and I've seen the good, bad, and ugly. I've seen people who are struggling. I've seen people walking on bare feet. There's been, of course, challenging times for myself as well when I'm trying to, to live beyond the status quo. But then you find that there's a system within the country which tries to keep you where you are, which is trying to limit you to an extent, right? But I said, you know what? As I was growing up, I started looking out to some of my cousins and some people who are very successful. But then I didn't know much about success as I do right now. So I wouldn't like to say I do when I really didn't. And I mean, life was just like that. But one thing I did know, I always knew that with God, anything is possible. If you believe, you can achieve. And what your mind can conceive, you can actually achieve. So that's all I knew. And so that was my pursuit. And hey, I was a young boy. I said one day I'll be in UK. If you asked me where is UK on the map, I couldn't possibly point it out. But guess what?
Wow.
I'm now in the UK. How amazing is that? Other things I said, they came to pass, and I'm amazed. Yeah. When I was a little boy, funny story. Do you know I used to actually stop the rain as well?
Did you really?
When I'm coming from school, I'll be saying, rain, please stop. God, please stop this rain, stop this rain. Well, whether it happened scientifically or spiritually, I don't know, but somehow the rain stopped.
I know you and I had something in common because I've done that once or twice as a kid too. And I think once as an adult, so there you go. So I don't look at you weird about that, that's for sure.
Oh, thank God.
So, yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you a question, Philip. So what your parents, what kind of background did they come from? And how many siblings do you have? Like, what your parents, did they work at a job? Did they, were they successful? Did they have business? Were they had businesses? Like, give me a little bit about background about them.
Thanks. Thank you for that amazing question. So first of all, I got one brother, older brother. He's in Kenya. He's hustling. You can say he's hustling,
right?
through life. Whereas my parents, they were not rich. I was not raised on a silver plate. I don't know what they call it, silver spoon now.
You weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
I wasn't born. Yeah, that's the word. That's the word, right? Some people say, I should be speaking amazing English because I'm in England, but English is progressive, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
my parents were not from a rich background. They were working really, really hard, tirelessly. They came literally from nothing. They're the kind of parents, I would say they came from zero to hero. They're the kind of parents who basically looked at the future with a lot of hope, because where they were born and raised, they were raised in a family where you actually have to actually go, you have to sacrifice and have a lot of discipline to achieve anything really. And they grew up in the generation where nobody was handed anything to them. Whatever they have, they actually had to work really, really hard. And luckily for me, even though I didn't suffer or go through the most craziest things, I've heard stories of many people, but I wouldn't say I had that much. But one of the mentors always said, it's not your mistake or your fault that in the family you were born. It's not your mistake where you found yourself in life. But if you remain there, it's your responsibility. It's not your responsibility in the family that you were born in, or where you find yourself, or the economy, or the country. But if you remain there economically, financially, it's your responsibility. So I said, you know what? It's my responsibility. So that's, so my family, no sisters, so just one brother. There's two of us.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's
why I like the number two a lot.
You like the number two? That's awesome. And now I think you're actually the one person so far who only has one sibling. Everybody else is 10. One person has 19. So our leaders are come from big families for the most part, but now you come from one with just one brother. So that's awesome too. I have just one sister, so I relate to the two. But
I grew up around my extended family. I grew up around my cousins.
Right.
So I consider them like my brothers and sisters. So if I count it like that, I think we're 45, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
45 cousins. So 45. That made up for the siblings. That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of them. They're all over the place. Yeah.
Right, right. And so you said your parents worked really hard, but they ended up succeeding. Did they go into their own business? Were they working for somebody else? How did they, you say they went from zero to hero, which is really an amazing thing to say. So about your parents. So what was it? Give me a little bit about what was their background like. Why would you say they were going from zero to hero?
Right. Now, when I say, the hero part doesn't mean that's the destination. That is
Right.
In regards to in direct proportion of comparison between where they're coming from and where they currently are. So where they came from, it was really bad. Like you can say minus, negative, right?
Wow.
So where they are right now in comparison to that, I consider it to be a hero, if that makes sense.
I got you.
I mean,
so,
yeah. My mom comes from a very special place in Kenya, like deep in the somewhere in the village, you can say. Very humble. My mom, I think, because of that, she's very, very humble woman. And also you've got my dad, born in the town, but again, the family he grew up in, he was like the breadwinner as well for the family.
Wow.
So he had to really work hard for the family. Before he could even think of himself, he had to think of the family first,
Wow,
and over the years, I mean, when I was little, I mean, I couldn't imagine, I mean, then going to UK, US or something like that was a very, very huge thing. And I couldn't imagine in the wildest dreams that they would end up actually in the UK or US or somewhere like that, leave alone in the capital city itself. It was very expensive then, So that's what I mean by hero. Like it had to be something amazing must have happened. I believe it's the grace of God that they actually came from where they are to be where they are right now. Like I said, from a negative to a super plus. So I call that as a hero. But they work really hard. Yeah,
That's awesome. So when did you were 15 when you all moved to the UK, or you moved separately?
I came to the UK to join them. They were already in the UK.
Oh.
My dad came to the UK in 1996, 97. My mom came 99, 2000, 99, somewhere there. And I came in 2002. Again, look, 2 again. There you go.
There you go, 2 again.
There's
That's
a lot
right.
of 2. Oh, and by the way, watch this. My birthday is the 22nd. Two twos.
2 twos.
And guess which month?
February.
2 again.
I figured.
And there's 2 of us here doing the interview, right?
And there's 2 of us. Magic number 2.
Oh, yeah. And if you ever heard of the story of Noah's Ark, so Noah built this ark, and there was 2 animals, like there was 2 of everything to go into the ark. So I always see myself like that. So maybe that's why I'm quite blessed and graced like this,
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So your dad went in 96, and then your mom went in 99, you said? And then you went...
2002.
2002.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And so...
I remember it was on September the 7th. Yeah.
Wow, very cool. In 1999. So that's pretty amazing. So you definitely had a vision of what you wanted, and it came to be with your family and yourself, it sounds like. It sounds like you and your family really had the practice of saying what you want and then going after it.
You know what? You may say
good at.
Yeah, you may say that actually I didn't know that's exactly what I was doing. In growing up in the later years, when I started hearing these teachings by all these motivational speakers, spiritual leaders, I got to discover that actually, funny enough, I stumbled into it unknowingly, and I got the same results of the people that knew about it.
So who were some of the motivational, the people that you listened to at that time?
I think it was my spirit. I didn't really have any motivational leaders.
Oh.
No, at the age of 14, 15, I had no, like going backwards, I didn't really have any of, like a motivational speaker that I knew or anyone.
Right.
No. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. I like that.
I think it was one word. I think it was just a desire that was guiding me. No knowing. Yeah.
Desire. I love it.
Desire.
And what did you, when you were growing up, what did you have a desire to be? Like, what did you want for yourself and your family? Like, what did you see for the future for yourself?
When I was growing up, well, as far as I can remember, when I was very, very little, I don't know by little how much I mean, but I was very, very little. I just wanted to be some type of an influential person of some kind. How this was gonna be, I had no clue in the world, no clue in the world, you know.
Gotcha.
But I said all kind of things. I said I'll be something like that.
Was there anybody that you looked at and saw maybe on TV, or I don't know, some example around you that you thought, oh wow, I want to be like them, or I want to, anything like that? Or it was just all you, it was just kind of you?
To be honest, at the time, I didn't have much connection with the outside world. So the people that inspired me was the inner circle. So like I told you, we had so many cousins. So I would look at the ones that are a little bit more successful than others, right?
I got you.
I would aspire to be like them, yeah.
Gotcha.
So if one of the cousins had a car, let's say, and it was the most brand new in the whole family, and it was 1999, so that became my little inspiration.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah. It's like, okay, I want that. Or okay, what are they doing? That's awesome.
Oh,
that's awesome.
One thing I really wanted to do was I wanted to be a parachute. You know those people who jump off the sky, like to jump on a parachute.
Right. Yeah. Parachute.
Yeah, that's
jumping.
one thing. Jumping, yeah, because we used to have this once in a year in Kenya. You got this event where a lot of people come in a big stadium, and you got the helicopter, throw these parachuters or whatever they're called. And I just found it so cool. I was little, and this was amazing to see a human being flying in the sky. I think that's why I got the idea of becoming an eagle one day. I wanted to fly, but I didn't want to fly going down. I wanted to fly going up. And I didn't want to fly like the way the normal doves and birds fly, like horizontal up. Right. I wanted to be like an eagle, like a helicopter kind of thing. Oh, and the best present when I was young, when my dad came to the UK, one of the first things he asked me, what present you want? I said I wanted a helicopter. So because a helicopter, unlike a plane flies that way, right? Mm-hmm. Taking off. But helicopter can go up this way. So I think being a parachute, like in the sky, then the eagle, and being able to protrude, flying against the status quo, I think those things
going up,
kind of combined it together.
Up. I love it.
Straight up, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. So you went to? Did you go on to like upper education, or did you? Where did you go? I'm assuming in the UK you went to school. Yeah. Yeah.
So first of all, before I came to the UK,
where did you go from there? Yes. Sorry. Go ahead.
Just before I came, I was very fortunate to join a British system school. My education school was very, very interesting. I did very, very well in my what they call class 8, which is equivalent to, I don't know what here it is, but I had A's and plus and B's plus 14.
14 would be like 8th, 9th grade, probably 9th grade.
8th, 9th grade, that's the one.
Yeah.
Oh, in the United States, right. I think it's year 7 or year 8, something like that.
Right.
So I did that. Now I'm supposed to go to the Form 1, what they call the Form 1 in high school.
Right.
But I joined a British system school, so I went straight to Form 2. Then I barely learned anything in Form 2, and I came to the UK, and they moved me straight to Form 4.
Wow.
So I kept jumping a class. So I thought, so people used to say, Philip, you must be very clever. You always jump a year ahead of your peers.
Right. It's that helicopter thing. It was going straight up.
Can you see that?
It was.
Yeah,
totally.
absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, great. So, what did you do after school? Did you go on to higher education? Did you go out and start a business, go to work? What did you do after that?
I'll tell you what
happened next?
I didn't start no business, but I'll tell you what my business was. First of all, I had no business being in business, but the funny thing is I went to to college right after.
Right.
And I had a briefcase every day, and the briefcase was empty. And I used to tell my friends, and I used to tell them that, look, I'm a businessman. I didn't even say I'm planning to be. I said I am.
I am a businessman.
Then we sit down in the canteen to have our lunch, and they'll say, oh, why don't you open your business bag and let's see what laptop or something you've got in there, or maybe some diamonds or whatever. And when we opened it, I just had one textbook in there,
You're right.
A business textbook.
I love it.
They would laugh all day long. Like, come and see the guy who says he runs a business and an empty briefcase, you know. But looking back again, yeah, it's kind of funny how these things happen. It was really funny, but I enjoyed it.
Oh, absolutely. And so are you still in touch with a lot of those people that you were friends with then? Do you keep in touch with those people? Because I wonder now, they're probably like, well, look, your empty briefcase became full, maybe. I don't know. What do they say to you now?
For starters, the empty briefcase now, I've got a MacBook, so thank God for that.
Yeah, right.
A MacBook Air. Let's start from there. Right. And then the second is, of course, it's a long time ago. Life got in the way, people went different routes. But thank God for social media and Mark Zuckerberg, that we're still well connected one with the other. But now they follow me secretly. You know, they just check me out on Facebook, what I'm doing. But funny enough, I don't post that much. I still wonder why. I don't post that much, but people tend to find out what I'm doing.
That's amazing. That's
I think there's some secret paparazzi that follow me. I'm not a celebrity or something like that, you know?
Right. That's all right. Well, you kind of are a celebrity, at least here at PGI. So, and soon across the world. So let me ask you this, Philip. Oh, absolutely. So when did you first get involved with network marketing, cryptocurrency? Like, give me kind of the idea of your path towards that, in that direction.
I do love this question. You know why? In 2012, I finished my education, my college, and I get I did my university. Again, university, I didn't go for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I went for 1 year. Again, this just keeps happening to me. I went straight to the final year just because I did my high national diploma, an extra 2 years in college. And I get this job in an IT. I'm a first line support, I'm feeling, first time I'm dressed up like in a kind of corporate way, and I'm excited, I'm working. And along the way, a friend of mine invites me and introduces me to network marketing, selling some products in a certain company that deals with all these energy drinks and energy, electricity, SIM cards and whatnot. I don't want to mention the name. Should I mention? I shouldn't mention. I leave the name of the company out. So I'm in network marketing and I have no clue my left from my right. I had no idea. And I'm telling you, it was one of those times I was wondering to myself, really and truly, I have no business being in business. And I was in a product industry, and the first position in the company took me 2 years to achieve. And some people could do it in in a 1 month. And I'm like, oh, there you go. Fantastic. Like it took me a long time. I was really, I was in a full-time job and I was really struggling to just get this first title. But it was fun. It was fun. So I quitted a couple of times. I think I was quitting and I'm back. It was very, very interesting journey, but I learned a lot. The difference between me and those fast achievers is that I got to learn. They were so quickly fast forwarded, so they didn't learn as much as I did. And I kept failing my way to the top. That was another funny thing. So then the other question you asked me about the crypto. So that came later. Around 2016, I do have a cousin who actually is married. My cousin is from China. Yeah. And you know what? This is one of the time I really look back and I say,
Chinese cousins?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
That's amazing.
You should see it from my eyes as well.
Well, yeah, I know. Now that you say it, it's like, oh, well, that kind of makes sense. I have friends who are Chinese Jamaican. So I know that Chinese are all over. So that's very cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you see somebody who looks Chinese and they go, man. All right. So you were saying that you were talking about cryptocurrency and how you got introduced to that. So why don't you pick up
there? 2014, my cousin, who is, Chinese, and he contacts me all the way from Uganda. And he says to me, Philip, I'd like you to help me buy 1 Bitcoin. I send you the money and you just help me to buy it. I think it was 2014, it was when Bitcoin was around, I believe it was around like $200. I remember that time it was around $200.
Wow.
So the first question I asked him, he said to me, I wanted to, buy a Bitcoin. The first thing I thought was Bitcoin was a person. I said, buy who? Yeah. And he said, then he tried to explain to me and thought to myself, oh my God, why was he bothering with this coin of some kind? So I was trying to imagine that I'm going to go to the shop and I'm going to buy this coin called Bitcoin, put it in my pocket, hide it really well because it's worth $200, you know, and then come and start figuring out how I'm going to send it over to him in Africa. Like, can you imagine that? Oh my goodness, it was hilarious. Well, explained to me, no, it's not physical coin. It's a digital coin. I said, what, digital coin? And well, he sent me the website. He started training me. And here's what he said to me. We were able to buy it. He guided me. I bought it and I sent it to him. He sent me the money. And I was like, if he gave me that money, I would have just, you know, kept it in my bank account and buy everything else apart from this coin called Bitcoin, you know? It looks like a crazy coin anyway, like a Doge coin. But he then said to me, he said, Philip, you know what? I think it's cheaper to buy from UK. So what I'm thinking, I want to buy 1,000 Bitcoins. And you know what? Then I didn't know what that meant. I thought, why in the world would somebody want to buy 1,000 Bitcoins? These coins, they you know, I didn't know much about them. You see, when people don't know what they know, I mean, when people don't know, they don't know how much they actually don't know. That's where I was.
Yes.
So then, I think things went, you know, I didn't show too much interest on it. So I guess he figured out other ways to buy from elsewhere. But it was later in 2017, this blooming Bitcoin thing was all over the news on the radio every day when I'm going to work. They're talking about the price of Bitcoin going up every day by, I don't know, $500, $1,000. And I was like, you mean so I started calculating. I stopped the car when I was going to work. I took my calculator, or my phone is here, and I was calculating if he really bought those 1,000 Bitcoins and each Bitcoin is going to $20,000, I was blown away. I was ashamed to call him.
$2 million.
Like to find out.
Wait a minute.
Huh?
That's a lot. Wait. Hold on. I got a calculator. Wait, I'm going to look. Yeah. Okay, so wait. They were worth 20,000. It was when they went to 20,000 times 1,000 Bitcoins is $20 million.
$20 million. So I thought to myself, you see how people miss opportunity? Like the first time he ever told me about it when it was $200, I could have started saving and just buying this blooming Bitcoin thing that he was talking to me about. We wouldn't be talking
here right now. You'd be on an island somewhere, right?
No, I definitely, this is the best place to be. I would still be here.
Oh, it's the best? Oh, you would still be there.
I enjoy it. Remember when I was little, I said I want to speak
You wanted to be in the UK. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you'd want to. Well, maybe you would buy you'd buy half of London. So there you go.
I tell you what, we would have been in Dubai Mall doing a few shopping, buying a few watches, you know. Yeah, and awesome. A few. I had Dennis likes the Range Rover HSE, the one in the PGI compensation. Right. Yeah, I would have been able to buy that for you, Patricia.
Aw.
Yeah. $70,000, not
bad. To buy that for me. Right now, I'd be happy with, all right, I'll take a Land Rover. Range Rover. I don't even know the name of it. It's terrible. I have driven one once, and I used to drive, on a side note, I used to drive a limousine. And the billionaire, Chaim Saban, who was the starter of the Power Rangers. You know the Power Rangers?
Oh, yeah.
He's a billionaire. And he didn't want to be picked up in a limousine. He wanted to be picked up in a Range Rover. And the Range Rover that we drove, it was pretty brand new, but there was some problem with it, and it just kept making noises, and it was weird. And he gave me a bad review because of the Range Rover. I was like, what's my fault? It was a stupid Range Rover. I didn't have a good experience with that, but that's all right. I would take a brand new one. I'd be okay with that. That would be great. Keep me in mind. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so this side. And you're also saying about the UK. You know I was born in Wales, right?
Yeah.
I was born in Wales. Yes, my mother was born in London, within the sound of the Cockney Bells, and she was raised in Wales. And she grew up in a fish and chip shop. Yeah, so her mother ran a fish and chip shop. Her father was off in the army, I believe, or Royal Army, I guess. And she grew up with fish and chips. And then when she was pregnant with me, she had fish and chips. So I love fish and chips. So when I come there, I will be eating, because I haven't had fish and chips. Last time I was in England was 1999, and it was to see my grandmother before she passed away a couple years later. Oh. She was 91 when I saw her. I think she was 93 when she passed away. So she lived a very long life. But Yes, fish and chips, my favorite. I told Denise the same thing. I'm having fish and chips. I get off the plane. I'm going for fish and chips. There you go. So anyway, sorry, but yes, back to you. So the UK, your cousin says, buy me Bitcoin. You don't buy any Bitcoin. You see it blow up to $20,000, and then what?
Wow. I was blown away. Well, by this time, I had now become involved with Bitcoin. And I was actually, before the Bitcoin, I was involved with another coin similar to that. Somebody again just called me and said, have you heard of this coin? I said, no. Then he said to me, have you heard of Bitcoin? I said again, who? So that's actually when I officially, I said, oh, that's the Bitcoin guy,
Right.
So I remembered what my cousin did with me with the Bitcoin,
Right.
And I thought, oh, here comes again another person telling me about this Bitcoin thing, By this time, I believed, because I got to discover, back then it was around $200. This time, this person is telling me about it. I think it was now late to about 2016. It was like, I think $1,000 or something like that. $1,000.
I think it was about 1,200 because that's when RV told me about
1,200, yeah, roughly about that, yeah. And I was like, okay, you know what, this Bitcoin thing is quite serious. So I started getting involved, but I was I played on a lower level now. I was like, okay, you know what, I've already missed it. It's not gonna go any higher than this, right? It's already reached the maximum, and I should have bought it, but now it's too late. But in 2017, I found out it was not too late.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
So okay, very cool. Well, that's interesting because I think a lot of people have a similar experience. Like I have a friend who somebody offered her. She found out later it was Bitcoin, or maybe she knew at the time, at like 8 cents a coin. 8 cents. So she didn't buy it. She was like, I don't know what that is. Like she didn't buy the Bitcoin. But then I have another friend of mine that I went to school with. And I just spoke to him recently, and we were talking. I mentioned about Bitcoin. He goes, "Oh yeah, I have some Bitcoin." I said, "Really? How much do you have?" He says, "Well, yeah, I bought it when it first came out. It was 10 cents a Bitcoin. I bought $2,000 worth of Bitcoin when it was 10 cents a Bitcoin." He has cashed out $9 million of it, but he's got like another 100 million or some insane amount, or it's up there.
I need to meet your friend.
Yes, I'm thinking he's single. I need to meet with him again myself. I'm just kidding.
Oh, God.
Yes, I know.
Wow.
So he's like, oh, Bitcoin is a great thing. Yeah, it is, obviously. He's doing really well with it. So anyway.
Absolutely.
So how did that lead you to, you said you were introduced to network marketing, right?
Yeah.
And so did you kind of did some, when did you do that? How long did you do it for?
Well, it was progressive. It was never ending.
Yes.
Until one time at the very early stage of network marketing, I had this upline who was so excited, telling me, selling me, showing me a lot of visions and dreams of what we can achieve. Right. So somewhere, I think in I told you it took me almost 2 years to achieve even the first position. Then I had no clue whatsoever, right? And I thought, you know what? I don't have any business being in business. So I decided, you know what I'm going to do? I decided, I'm going to quit my job and do this business online. I mean, this, not business online, do that business full time at the time. When I still had, I'm still, getting my feet on the ground. You know what happened?
What?
It was a risky decision. Decision then. And I really went through some tough times. You heard of tough times when life wears gloves and throws the punches back at you. And then I fell down.
Sometimes when there are no gloves, yes, I understand those times.
Exactly. It was really bloody, And I fell right down because of that. But then I came across, then I had to go back to job, and of course I still had to, I started reminding myself that job is good, but I got to discover that job meant just over broke or just on your way to broke or just obey your boss, GOB. But then when I fell down, I actually remembered, I listened to a guy called Les Brown, one of my mentors, and he said, if life knocks you down, make sure you land on your back, because if you can look up, then you can get up. And that's how I got up. Yeah, awesome. It's kind of funny, right?
That's awesome. I love Les Brown. I've met him once, actually. He was amazing. So yeah.
Yeah.
awesome person to have as a role model.
Absolutely.
So with the network marketing, so I just want to recap. It took you 2 years to get to the first position.
The first position, 2 years, I know.
2 years, and then you decided, I got to the first position, I'm going full time.
I'm going full time.
That makes no sense whatsoever, but like I get, like you just knew, like if you could do that, I'm guessing, if you could do that, you could then do everything else, right?
Everything else, yeah. I thought this job is holding me back, you know. Let me go full time. I just hit the first position and I'm making some type of money, you know. But I didn't realize from the first position to the second position, you have to be twice as disciplined as the first time. You have to be twice as committed, twice as focused. Everything was two twice. And of course, I was still learning. I was 0.5, not twice. So you know what? I nearly became broke.
Gotcha.
Have you ever gotten to the point where you can see broke, like the word broke, like walking in the street, and it's like, that is broke looking for me, and you go in hiding.
Yeah, I had a point where broke came and sat in my house. So anyway, yes. So that being said, so what was it like going through that time? Like, what were the challenges in knowing that you were really struggling, you were having a hard time? What was that like for you? Like, say more about that.
Really tough. You know, have you ever heard of the term that a prophet is not known in his own town? Sometimes, because I had a lot of people that I was sharing this news with, all my friends, you know, I told all my friends, you know what, I'm gonna make it, you know, I'm gonna make it, but you know, it's like this bottle of water. The more I tried to reach out to it, it kept moving backwards. So it was really tough, because every time I meet them, they'll be like, yo, Philip, how far? How far, you know? By that time, I had already dropped into a hole, you know what I mean? So it wasn't even like how far I was getting closer to my goal. It felt like I was getting farther away from my goals. It was a really tough time, I can assure you. Really tough time.
So how did that kind of make you feel, like to be at that point, to really risk things? And it sounds like to have your friends say like, oh yeah, how's that going? Because like, you know, friends do that, right? I don't know why. But
absolutely.
What was that like for you? How did that feel?
It was very demotivating, disheartening. It was, I don't want to use a strong word as what's that word? Dehumanization or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Don't put that one on.
Don't put that one on.
Yeah, but it was really a tough time. It was heartbreaking, especially when you have people who have so much expectation of you. You know, because then I was raised up, you know, go to school, get a degree, then get a good job, you know, and now you're literally going the opposite of that. And now not only have you gone opposite, you've landed in a deep hole somewhere where nobody can find you, you know?
Right. And so what did it take for you? Like, what was the process for you to get out of that hole?
Fantastic. So, of course, you know, like when life knocks you out, you have to take two steps backwards, reanalyze, you know, go into some moment of meditation, check what you did wrong, what can you adjust. So actually at that, I had to really humble myself and to really find a partner with a friend of mine who owns like a cargo company. Like not own it, but he's been given like a little contract, and he has these vans moving about, you know, and, you know, I had to jump on that thing, you know, move it around and get myself back up. I did that for a while. Then I worked for some other company, a Bupa private medical insurance company. And I was in the IT side. It was all nice and quiet, you know, but somebody said to me, Philip, you know what? So by this time, you can say I had given up on the network marketing. I kind of like, you know, forgot about it. Let me go back to job. So I forgot about network marketing. I didn't want to hear anything about it, because now it landed me on a big hole and I had to go back to square one. But when I was working in that company in the IT department, and somebody says to me, Philip, you know what? You are a people's person. You have this, when you speak to people, like, you know, you should move into the sales department. You know what? I moved into the sales department, and you know what? In the sales department, you're way over supervised. You have a boss literally breathing down your neck, like literally, you know? And then you have these calls that you do, and they listen to your calls like 24/7, and they keep calling you. They kept calling me like for 6-7 meetings to play back my calls and find out what mistake was on the calls, you know, and all of that. It was so tough. It actually kicked me out. Have you ever kicked yourself out of a job? That's exactly what happened to me. Yeah. But this time, towards the end of it, thank God, now is when I was introduced to the digital world. And that's where I began to see that, you know what? Product industry was great, but combining product and the digital was even better. And that's when I was able to, you know, sustain myself as I move on. It's like a plane was taking off, just barely off the runway. That's where I was. That's where I was.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And it sounds to me, I just want to say, like, it sounds that, you know, for you, you keep going, and then the next thing has shown up each time, like, because you've been persistent, because you haven't given up.
Yes.
Even when you were in a hole, you still weren't, like, satisfied to stay there. Because there are times that people go, like, and that's that. They throw in the hat, and they throw in the towel, and they call it a day. So, but you didn't do that. So you kept moving forward. You were like, okay, what's the next thing I have to do? I have to stay in action. I have to keep going. So that says a lot about you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was the desire. The desire was always there. Even when I felt like I was at the bottom of the equation, I still had the desire that, you know what, it can work. And the only thing that will make it work is if I work, because I got to discover that for things to change, you have to change, or the only thing that will be left in your pocket is change.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you just say something? That was, say it again.
You know that quote right there? I attended an event, you know, that company I told you that I started with. By this time I had progressed further. I revisited them for some training. And I went to an international event in Spain. And actually, I tell you this, guess who else was there? Donald Trump was there. And Darren Hardy, the publisher of Success Magazine. And I was seated right at the back, at the top, at the very top where you see everything, like everybody looked like an ant, like it was that high. In a big event. And the Donald Trump was being interviewed by Darren Hardy, and you had the, you know, and you know, I saw one young guy being promoted to a very executive position in the company. And he said those words. He says, for things to change, you have to change, or the only thing that will be left in your pocket is change. Of course, he was taught by somebody else. And I took those words literally with me. It's like I kept them in my pocket, in my wallet. And I said it to myself every single day. And that's exactly what happened. I had to make things, you know, for things to change, I had to change. Or the only thing that would be left in my pocket was change. So I said, and then he also said that money doesn't buy you happiness. But he said he would rather cry in his BMW than to cry on the bus. And you know what? That is exactly where I am right now, you know?
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard the for things to change, you have to change, but I haven't heard the part, or the only thing you'll have left is change.
It's change, yeah.
Have left is change.
So that's what we do here in the UK. We take everything everybody says, we just make it better. We add our uniqueness to it, you know? Yeah, can't be like everybody else, you know?
I have to write that down, because I got to remember that. I like that. I got to keep growing and changing, otherwise I'm going to have
Absolutely.
change.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It sounds funny when you say it, yeah.
It does. It totally does, but it's awesome.
He said that, I know money doesn't buy you happiness, but I would rather cry in my BMW than cry on the bus.
Right.
Yeah. And that's no offense to anyone, you know? That's just what he said, and I thought that was quite hilarious.
Listen. You know, there was who was it? Was it Mae West? I forget who said it. Some very old, I want to say it was an very old actress, like been gone a long time. She said, I've been rich and I've been poor, and I like rich much better.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, you can be poor. There's nothing wrong with that, but, you know, I like rich much better.
I learned that we help people we help people from being poor. And I thought, what do you mean by being poor? So P-O-O-R, which means passing over opportunities repeatedly. And that stuck with me like, oh my God, that's exactly what I've been doing, passing over opportunities repeatedly. I passed the opportunity of Bitcoin. I could have had like $20 million right now. And the contrast of it was to give people hope. H-O-P-E, help other people excel. H-O-P-E.
Oh, man, these are good. I hope everybody's taking it when you're watching this. You got to take notes, because this is good stuff.
I got a whole lot more, but not for tonight.
Not for tonight. I just, let's say yes. So, Hope said helping others.
Help other people excel.
Help other people excel.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, really fantastic. So, okay, so we're gonna kind of move along a little bit. So, because it's just been this has been perfect, just so awesome. So you were in that network marketing company. What happened? How did you end up at PGI? Was there like more? Were you? What happened?
Well, now when
Inquiring
I
minds
was
want to know.
I was now in this digital world, and
Right.
I'm beginning to see some profit. I'm traveling to Dubai. I'm traveling to a few places that I probably just had them written in my books, in
Right.
my books. So I was like, wow, this is cool. People go such places with, holiday, but I'm going there for business. Can you imagine that? Then I was like, remember college days? I said I'm a businessman with an empty briefcase, and this is now happening in my life. So I go there and I see a big, big opportunity. I'm getting some small recognition, some incentives. I'm happy. I'm excited, and my travel arrangements starting to get paid for. So I don't pay for my travel. So people see me traveling to Dubai 4 times in 2018, and they're thinking, wow, Philip has lots of money, right? Including my cousins all over.
So you said for things to change, you have to change, or the only thing you'll have left is change.
Is change.
In your pocket.
Absolutely.
In your pocket. I know money doesn't buy happiness, but I'd rather cry in my BMW than
cry
not on the bus. I love that. Passing over opportunities repeatedly is poor. Help other people excel is hope.
Yep.
And that's where we left off. So,
and one more.
And one
OPS.
more. Other people's what?
System. And OPM, other people's money.
Other people's money.
OPT, other people's
time. Amen, brother. I'm with you on that one. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, let me...
Leverage,
absolutely. OPM, OPT. OPM and OPT, I knew. I didn't know OPS, but that also. Other people's system.
Yeah.
System, yes.
Is the
awesome.
one way.
Number one way to...
In the 21st century to make, why even PGI is the best system among this class. The cluster of systems is the number one. And if someone can leverage on that, they can move from zero to hero.
Zero to hero. I love it. Awesome. So, so we were talking about kind of your path along the way, and you talked about how you got how you were introduced to network marketing. So, tell me a little bit about your path from network marketing in general to PGI.
I did speak about my original company that I started in 2012, 2013, which was a product-based company. And then, of course, after that, without fully giving up, I was knocked to life, landed on my back, but I looked up and I was able to get back up again, like, our motivational speaker says. Then after that, I was then introduced to Bitcoin, and obviously I thought Bitcoin was a person, and I found it was a coin. And that was the first company that I got involved in the digital world. And from there, I found out the digital world was like another world, another country where you need a different passport and a different citizenship and a different mindset, because you couldn't apply. It's like football, and it's like sports. You have volleyball and football, but the rules that apply in volleyball are not the same as football. You might get kicked out or a yellow or red card, right? So that was a new paradigm shift for me. My mindset had to change, my mental fixed attitude. But the one great thing I discovered about these other companies that I got involved in, working alongside, so I began to leverage, and I'm not going to go through all the names of the few companies, but I think I went through about 4 companies in the middle, and each of them, I just leverage on their system. That means they did the hard work, I do the smart work, whereby I make my money work for me. And they were phenomenal. Of course, there was one that, among the 4, there's 2 that I wouldn't like to mention, but not everything is perfect. I mean, if everything was perfect, I'm sure I wouldn't be sitting here and you wouldn't be listening to me, because, if everything was perfect, we should be somewhere else, maybe not in this world, right? But, we are here to perfect things, and somebody says practice makes perfect. But somebody else also said, practice makes better. Practice makes better, not perfect. So you can improve every day. That's what I was trying to get your mind on, that you can always improve. If you're willing and you wish, you can. So my journey through those companies, I just learned a lot in terms of the digital world, about this Bitcoin, opening these wallets and everything like that. But I found the people in the digital world actually had more money. They had more money. And now I've just like crossed the bridge. I've moved from a only product-based, straight into digital companies. And I was like, this bridge. And then I also got involved in a fintech company as well, where I bought some shares. I still own those shares in a fintech startup companies, the holding companies. And then I had to change my paradigm, my thinking on that one as well. I had to understand about these technology companies, startup companies, investment, and I'll be standing in front of people and I'll be doing presentations. But where did all this confidence and understanding and willing and ability to speak to people come from? It came from the beginning. That company where I suffered for 2 years to hit the first position taught me a whole lot. And you know what? They say it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. So that is exactly what happened with me. So now these companies were digital, people are more relaxed. They just, it was more, you could do the business from your phone. Like all you needed was just a mobile phone and the internet, and you can actually run from anywhere. The product was good. The products were legacy companies. These were like companies that could outlive even the existence of time and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, you have to work really, really hard. And of course, they're going to be there. But the digital ones could make you rich in a short period of time compared to the product ones. So anyway, well, I was in this journey. I was then introduced to a certain company that were doing only Forex. And this was July 2019. I've just fast-forwarded about a few years in the middle. I've just summarized it in a few words. Now, this company, I got started working with my dear business partner. We even opened our own office in central London, where we partnered with two of my business partners. And it was phenomenal. We were making, a daily profit. I was like, this was another concept, a daily profit, a daily profit. Who wouldn't like that? And this was Monday to Friday, a daily profit. And this became my greatest news. I used to tell people, look, come and show you something that is paying me. My part-time fortune is paying me more than my full-time job. Would you like to hear my story? And everybody wanted to hear my story, right?
Of course.
Yeah, of course, I learned all these things along the way, from people like Jim Rohn, my dear mentor friend, So did I just call him my friend? Because, when you listen to someone so much, you think he's a friend, right?
Yeah, right. So, no, I totally get it.
I shared that story and, I began to realize that, oh, wait. So somewhere around, and just prior to that, I didn't tell you this, somewhere in 2018, April, I flew over to Kenya to launch a certain project. And by that time, I called it off with a job. And this time, I did not end up just over broke. And I didn't end up just on my way to my boss. And I didn't end up, which was the other one? Just obey your boss.
Just obey your boss, right.
Just obey your boss, right? J-O-B, right? So that's when I left that one and I got started on that. So July 2019, I got started with this one I'm talking about. A daily profit, Monday to Friday. It was phenomenal. And while I was working on that, just around December, I get this timely text message. It wasn't even a phone call from the co-founder, one of the co-founders in PGI. And he says to me, Philip, I know you're a busy man. You are hard to find, but you're focused on whatever, the project you're in. But I would like you to have a look at something. And I thought to myself, look, when you find what you've been looking for, what's the need to keep looking again, right? I mean, if you're looking for gold and you found the gold and somebody's telling you like, look, come and show you where the gold is at. You're wondering, what's wrong with them? Like, I found gold. Why are they still trying to drag me around to look for, like somebody, I tell you a funny story, real shop. Somebody once, gave a scenario that sometimes if you find that there's a problem everywhere you go, there is a high chance that you are the problem. And you know what happened to that person? They were cleaning, they traveled somewhere, forgot to switch off the fridge and everything, the freezer. So all the meat went bad. They came back, cleaned the fridge and everything, and went to the other room. It was still smelling bad. They cleaned that room. They went upstairs. It was also smelling bad. And they were wondering, what kind of meat is this that the smell just goes in every single room? And they cleaned upstairs as well. And it was still, and even after cleaning it, cleansing it, opening the windows, almost breaking the wall, just to get as much fresh air, opening the rooftop, it was still the same way they found it. It was stinking with this meat has gone bad. You know what happened? They thought, I'm about to go crazy. They went in front, they thought, you know what? I'm going to go to town, have some fresh air, have some juice, some drinks or something, get back into my common sense, since common sense sometimes is not common, and then I'll stand on the mirror, get dressed, and head off. Do you know what happened? They were just about to learn a lesson of their lifetime. You know what happened? They went on the mirror, and guess what they found? This is probably going to make you laugh right now, okay? Because I can feel the laughter coming in as well. Hold it there. They discovered that this smell, that there was a piece of meat on their nose. A piece of meat was on their nose, and this is the piece of meat that followed them in every single room.
Oh my God, I love that.
So I didn't plan to say that, but I just had to.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Wherever you go, there you are. So yes,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that means it's a lesson I had to learn. Why I say that is that despite making money and all this smart work and hard work, whatever, character, integrity, honesty, and transparency is very important. And that honesty and transparency, if the character and some certain things are not right, that could be the piece of meat that might follow you in whatever business you go to. And you discover that you have a problem with somebody, you have a problem with people everywhere you go. So you know what? Go back to the mirror, check yourself. Maybe there's a piece of meat that is following you everywhere. This is amazing.
Stuck on your nose.
I didn't even think of that. Exactly. So the timely text said to me, Philip, come and just have a look. But I thought to myself, even though I think I'm doing really well, don't think that you are the best in the world. Just because you're great, think of yourself highly, but don't think of yourself more highly than other people, okay? Because everyone is highly in their own way. Everyone is unique, dynamic, not two people exactly the same. So I thought, okay, let me just have a look. He just asked me to have a look. He didn't ask me to join. He just asked me to have a look. What do I have to lose at the end of the day? I said, look, I'm going to have a look, but I'm going to show you something, right? And I had a look, and he didn't actually let me have a look. He invited me directly onto a Zoom call with the CEO, Mr. R.V. Palafox. And I was impressed. I could see, at the time, December, this was way before pre-launch. Even now we're in what month? We're in July, pre-launch, right? But can you imagine December? That was pre-launch, right?
Pre-launch, right?
Pre-launch, yeah.
Even thinking about launch.
Triple pre-launch.
Right.
So there was nothing much to show, really. But there are certain things you can't really go wrong on. When a person has a vision, a plan that you can follow, a goal, a clear line, and I then discovered that this person, this CEO, we've actually crossed paths in the past. And even the company where he was a president, that company up till today is still standing on 2 feet, not one. It's still there. It's still paying, not taking new people, hence why he started this company. But I got to find out this company was a baby in his heart for a long, long time. His intentions were clear. His intentions were good. You could just see it. It was right there. And sometimes your gut feeling will not lie to you. I just felt that this was the right thing. Of course, normally in the past there's a company we had to look at, me and my leaders, after you've developed over these years, you become the kind of leader who doesn't do research on Google. Because, Google, there are people who get paid just to write reviews. And some of them, some negative news sells faster than positive news. Sometimes, look at this whole pandemic. Negative sales moves faster sometimes.
Absolutely.
So they just write terrible things, negative things about companies. And all they pray that you do is for you to click on their negative news, read the reviews, scare you away from some opportunity that came your way. And guess what you've done for them? You've just increased their bank balance. Why? Because they get paid every time you read their reviews or click their videos and things like that. Those are people on the YouTube. So I said, after you develop, you go past that level of doing research just on the internet. So me and my leaders had flown before into Dubai to go and look at the company. To do research means don't do research on what somebody else has done research. No, do your research. Means that's what I call research. You need to analyze. You need to go deep, face to face with the CEO and the leadership, the system. So that's what we used to do. But you know what? With PGI, I found something different. I didn't have to fly all the way to meet the CEO, whether he was in the USA or in Philippines or anywhere. Well, even if he was in Wakanda, right? I didn't have to fly anywhere. But everything was clear on the table. And here was the biggest difference. I got to discover that this company that the co-founder, bless his soul, bless him very much. I thank God for his life every day. He invited me to see this company.
Who was that, by the way, that you spoke to?
This was Hussein, none other than the humble gentleman who used to be a taxi driver in London, Ahmed Hussein. He was a taxi driver in London. Now he owns a taxi company in London. And that ain't the only thing he owns. He owns a lot of few other things, okay?
Right.
I'm not gonna destroy his story for him, okay?
That's why I'm talking to him later today, so that's good.
Oh, fantastic. Tell him I said hi, right?
I will.
I discovered that the one I was excited about after developing over the years into the digital, which I started somewhere in July 2019, was only doing one thing, which was Forex trading. But this PGI, first the name PGI, I was asking myself, why PGI? I kept asking the CEO, why is it PGI? Say Praetorian Group International, because some people have lost money in the past. People have gone through left, right, and center. People have, things have happened to people's lives in the past financially, in many opportunities. But Praetorian Guard is, as the name suggests, is to guard your money, to protect your money. It is here to help other people excel, hope, give people hope. And you know what? That is why Praetorian Guard is the best opportunity that I discovered. It's home. And then I discovered more that it wasn't just bringing Forex only, foreign exchange, which is what I only knew then. It had crypto trading. There was also e-commerce. There is blockchain education. And remember where I started off in my genesis of my life in this network marketing? So my life is like Genesis and Revelation. Well, my revelation is not closed yet, okay? So I'm still here, guys. I'm very much alive, all right? And I'll be here for many, many years. So
yes.
The genesis of my network marketing industry started with the pure product-based company. And of course, I told you how much I worked so hard there. I sweated 2 years just to hit the first rank because I was on and off in my full-time job, and my supervisor at work was giving me a hard time, So, but here, this company PGI is where I found out it combines my genesis and my revelation in one. What do I mean by that? It brought the products back into my life, but this time it also added the digital side together. And this is what you call a perfect marriage in the network marketing industry. When you have the best of both worlds, when you have the products, and what kind of products did I discover they were? This wasn't just some kind of products that, you just stand in the street and disturb people of their time and asking them to stop and talk to you for hours. No, this is the products where human life is based on. So much has happened in the world since February till July 2020 so far as we speak, pandemics and everything. So the most important thing people are discovering is the health. What health is the most important thing? It's not even money. Health is the most important thing, because with health, you can make any money you want in the world. But if you have all the money in the world and you don't have any health, you cannot enjoy it. So you need health and wealth together. And I found out PGI married the two concepts together. It brought the health and the wealth together. On top of it, with a little crown of gadgets. So health and wellness gadgets. It has all this vitamin C, things that will look after you. So you can literally, you can go through some groups of bacteria and viruses and become untouchable, indestructible. Of course, with the life of God in you as well. Okay?
Of course.
If there's a God, I believe,
Yeah.
And then you can be able to focus on helping other people. You can help your family. You can't help other people if you can't help yourself. One of my mentors, one of my spiritual leaders said, you can't lift another person if you're both on the same floor. You need to go to the first floor, then stretch your hand and lift the other person. And then he gave an analogy. He was training some young people, and he got two young kids to sit next to each other. And he asked one kid, do not stand up, but try to lift the other kid. And he couldn't. He tried everything he could. He couldn't. And then he said to him, stand up and lift the other kid. And guess what? It was instant. What changed? For things to change, you have to change. Oh, the only thing that will be left in your pocket is change. Whatever change that might be, it's a symbolic. It could be anything. It could be the change in your pocket. Could be change of your time. Some people are short-changing their life. They're living another person's, they're going day to day. Some people, this is their life. I'll give you an example. This is their life. They wake up, they wake up, rush quickly, get on the traffic, off to work. At work, spend 8 to 12 hours with all the most annoying supervisors and bosses that they don't like, work with people they don't like, doing the job they don't like, then get back on the traffic, drive the car they haven't even paid for, use a lot of petrol, get on the traffic, meet some annoying people on the road, get back home. Now, they don't have time to see their daughter or their son or their family members, and then they have to sleep. They haven't rested enough. The alarm clock is screaming at the top of its peak volume to wake them up. And they crash the alarm clock and they don't have a replacement for it. Then they sleep, then they wake up. Then it's a box life, other things that looks like a box is a TV. So one of the things they advised us when I was growing up in this network marketing industry is that get rid of your television. And I'm not saying you should do this literally, but this is personal to you because making money is personal. And that's why I like PGI. There's so much to share. So I got to discover it's got everything, the healthness, the wealth, the education industry, the crypto industry, the foreign exchange industry. You couldn't get anything better than this anywhere on the planet right now. You couldn't get it. So I just instantly knew this was my home. And somebody said, if you have 100% belief in the system you're working in, everything in that system will work out for you. And I had 100% belief. And I got started. I had belief in the CEO. I had the belief in the company and the system. And the only belief left was belief in myself. Because you can believe in God, believe in everything. But if you don't have belief in yourself, then you haven't started. Because the journey to 1,000 miles begins with one step. And I got started. And you know what? The next thing was to find some partners. And I remember through this journey, I was trained that when you find such an amazing concept, the first thing you ever do is to make a list of names. I made a list of 100 names. I was trained in the military. I mean, the military of network marketing, the product-based company where I didn't hit the position for 2 years, the first position. That was military. I mean, what other military do you think I'm gonna do? That was military. I've been in the military. I don't look like a militant, but I was in the network marketing military. Where we were raised with nose, where we traveled to places where we had to share sandwiches. We had to share things, and sometimes you go to a place and you'll be having a cold shower, and you all chip in to get on the taxi just to go to the event in the morning. That all of you, But look at that, life changes. You have to go through these things sometimes, and if you haven't gone through this as a network builder, well, somehow you'll have to learn in a different way because there are two types of pains you must suffer. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. There is the pain of discipline and there is the pain of regret. Which one do you choose? So that was the journey. I think I spoke a little there.
That's a little bit. I think you said some things. That's really awesome. All right, good. So I want to ask you, we only have about 5 minutes, maybe a little less, actually. So I want to ask you, give me a short version of it. What do you think it takes? What do you think it takes to be? Now, no. So what is your personal vision for yourself? Like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? What would you like to be doing? What would you like your life to look like at that point? What do you see building, with it, like you have PGI, okay, you've built this amazing business. You have, everything's gone fantastically well. 5 to 10 years from now, where do you see yourself? What would you like to be doing? Where would you like to be? What would you like to be? That's my question.
Absolutely. Wow. Thank you. I'll try and make it the shorter version.
Right.
One thing I noticed was I've always wanted to help people, but like I said, you cannot help people if you can't help yourself, and you have to be in a pedestal. You have to be on on a place where you can actually stretch your hand and help other people. Otherwise, if the people are stronger than you and you're trying to rescue someone who's drowning,
let me stop you for a second. I want you to do this from an I point of view.
Point of view. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like what you should do, but what because it can sound a little preachy. So yes.
So if I'm helping someone who's drowning and they're stronger than me, they're going to pull me and I'm going to drown with them. So I need to be stronger to be able to save their life. And this is what my vision is connected to. Now, I noticed that there was a huge, I noticed there's a lot of young people, especially in Africa, because I come from that beautiful continent of Africa, and Africa is home. And I thought, you know what? There are people with amazing ideas, great ideas. And this is something I discussed with my peers, even when we were in the church as well. As young men, we're still young men, but we've been discussing it.
Younger, right?
Yeah, that you know what? If we had enough money, we would be able to invest in other people's ideas and help them, young people across the world. I mean, especially Africa, across the world, but especially Africa, to become like. Have you heard of the Dragon's Den? In UK, we got Dragon's Den.
They call it Shark Tank here.
Right.
Shark Tank. You should Google it. It's really good. But yes, I've seen Dragon's Den too.
Yeah, and I always thought, you know what? If I have money, I can invest in. First I start with the system, so I can find myself a place to stand. Then the second step is to have tangible assets. So in the next 5 years, of course, I expect one of my things I like. I aim to have a type of a factory of some kind. I might not be the expert, but remember, it's leveraging on other people's knowledge, partnership. I want partnership. So on like a factory, of course, some tangible assets, properties, and while still making a difference in other people's life. But optimum is to actually create an opportunity for lots of other people, especially I said in Africa. How? Because when you have this money, once I'm in 5 years' time, I'll be able to partner with the right people, with the right attitude, the right motivation, because motivation is very important to me. What drives other people? Is it the same thing? Or some people are in things, some people do things just for short term, for instant gains. No. So with this, I'll be able to help other people investing in their ideas and actually bringing their ideas to an actualization, to an execution, because they're sitting there, they have a great idea. I tell you what, there's a young kid, there's a student in my country, Kenya. He came up with a great idea of something called the M-Pesa. But you know what he did? He sold the idea to a big company, called Safaricom. They're making multi-millions out of it. I don't know how he was rewarded. I mean, if I was mentoring him, I wouldn't tell him to sell off this idea. I would have told him to own shares of the idea, on maybe 5%, 10%. Sure. You see what I mean? So in 5 years, I intend to be in a place whereby I just, sit and I have this website and have all these people with different ideas, have people helping me find them across the continent. And anyone with some great ideas, they come and pitch it to us. They pitch it to me. I listen. Right. I have my expert advisors, and we look at the ideas. We motivate them, and then guess what? Some of them don't have access to funding, so that's where I come in. Now, where I stand in the UK at the moment, I might move a lot. So at this point in time, as I'm speaking, I am in UK, London. So if you're coming to UK, doesn't necessarily mean you'll find me where I am right now. Okay, so where I'm in a position to connect the Africa to the Europe and the US. So whatever, I'm like the middleman. I connect the best of the both worlds. What they didn't have access to, I help them have access to. And of course, Africa is my beloved. So 5 years from now, that's why I see myself investing in other people. Why? Because I want to make a difference in other people's lives. And you know what? Somebody might think, oh, Philip, but if you do that, you might end up broke. But look, if you help enough people pay their bills, my bills are automatically paid. So
Right.
in helping them, of course, if someone come with a great idea and I invest in the idea, I put my expertise into it, and of course I'll own a part of that idea as well. You see, because I don't have all the best ideas in the world, other people have it, and PGI is helping me to have what you call the capital. The capital. So this is my, my vision, part of that. And of course, there are other, charities. I do the charity and support, in terms of ministry as well, because, like my ministry has some partnership arms where they reach to people, to orphanages, people with disabilities, children around the world with, without food and things like that. So I want to be in a place where I can help them as well, directly or indirectly. But they say, where you couldn't get to, your money can get to, right. So this is part of, and of course my immediate family and extend, family, the people around me are very important. And they say charity. Somebody was in London and he said he wants to go and share some good news somewhere in China. And the person asked him, have you shared that good news with the people in the same bus that you're in? So that means start from where you are. In order to get to where you want to get to, because you don't have to be great to start, but in order to be great, you got to start. So I have to start from where I am, because they say charity begins at home. So my family, I'll make sure. So this is part of my visions. As you can see, I'm expounding on it. I want to help other people, discover their purpose in life, because their purpose is linked to their ideas, because their ideas is linked to their gifts and their talents, and their gifts and talents is linked to their purpose. Now, I am the man to help them discover those things. You see?
I love it.
And
That's
PGI
awesome.
is a system allowing me the opportunity to leverage to be able to achieve my goal. So PGI might not be someone's vision necessarily, might not be like my vision per se. But you know what PGI is for me? PGI is a moving vehicle. It's a vehicle to my vision. So without the vehicle, sometimes you cannot get to the town you want to get to in the time that you want to, because we know we're not going to be here in the world, in this planet Earth, for thousands of years. We have to move to the other phase, right? So while we are still here, let's achieve our purpose. I want to make a difference in other people's lives, well, making a difference in my life as well. Because look, somebody once said, if you are burning, if you're on fire, people will come and look at the fire. But if you're as cold as ice, nobody will come. So never fool yourself that you just want to make a difference in other people's lives, but not make any difference in you. Because people don't buy anything you're giving them. People buy you first. They look at you. So people looking at me, I want to permeate. I want to transmit. I want them to see the same thing that I want them to see the honesty, the transparency, and the change.
Right.
One president of America, he says there has to be a change, right? And he said, yes, we can. And that change, that's very important. So the change is very important for me. So I'm changing while helping other people change. Not just changing other people's life, well, not mine not being changed, right?
Right.
There'll be a contradiction. There'll be a discrepancy. Somebody said, if what you say and what you do, there's a discrepancy, I'm only going to believe what you do at each count. So, yeah.
Brilliant. I
have to take a little sip
Philip,
from that one.
yes.
There's quite a lot there.
I hate to tell you, we've run out of time. For 15 minutes, we've actually been on, I think it's like 45 or something, 45 minutes.
I'm so glad we had a part two, because
I know,
my energy level is,
I've
been so inspired by so many things.
Absolutely. Philip, I so greatly appreciate you. I thank you for your time. I thank you for who you are in the world and for who you are as one of the people in PGI and taking this from the ground and taking it to the way over the top. The top won't even be recognized. Way over the top. So
we don't want to see the people at the top. No, we want to see them over the top. Zig Ziglar.
Way over the top. Exactly.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you very much. Absolutely. And so that is our interview for today. We have just spoken with Philip King, part 2. Not so great. We have to do it twice. So we have to have 2 parts. So anyway, again, thank you very much, Philip. And,
thank you very much.
And we'll just pause for a second. All right, that's the end. Just figure, I don't know. I like to just like pause for a minute.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
and I do have to jump on to, I have just I'm a couple minutes late. Luckily, I'm not leading that one, but I do have to get on the other Zoom. But listen, I want to thank you so much, and I want to thank you for being willing to come back to the hotel and get the background. I was thinking, I hope that was the right place. But whatever. It'll be like probably they'll go cut along, and it'll be like, hi, what happened? I don't even know. People
what just happened? Yeah.
What just happened? Right. That'll be those people. What just happened?
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
But man, really, a lot of amazing things that you've said. Just a lot of amazing things. I am really excited to be on this path with you and to do this with you. And I think that, I think that I can't wait till Dubai, or we're actually able to travel, because they haven't opened anything. But when we're actually able to all meet together, oh my God, it's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to that.
I can't wait.
Absolutely.
I can't wait.
So I can't wait either. So anyway, you have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you so much again. And any last thing? I think that's pretty much it.
If not PGI, then what? If not me, then who? And if not now, then when? If I shoot for the stars, even if I miss it, the president of Asia said you might just land on the moon.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect note to end on.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Philip.